Today's lab is on bathymetry. It's the study of the ocean floor as well as the mountain ranges. We're going to be taking a look to see if that particular study has any evidence to support plate tectonics. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll need a couple of things. First of all, My World GIS software, as well as a student guide or instruction sheet. Make sure you're in data group number 2, elevation of depth, and you're the specialists for, of course, bathymetry. When we look at this particular set of instructions, you'll notice you'll need to make sure you open a few things when you open up My World GIS. First of all, make sure you have your continents, plate boundary types, and also elevation and depth results. So let's click back to My World GIS. You're going to have to start by clicking File, and you want to open a project, and then you're going to evidence for plate movement, and then open the project. As it's loading, you have two sides of your screen. This blue side is your view side, and then over here, these are the layering or construct side. And of course, this little tour here kind of breaks down each of the 6 specialties that each group will be involved in. Now, when you first open the project page, you'll see that already 2 layers have been added. The lines of latitude and longitude, as well as the continents. As I said before, if we jump back over the instructions, you're going to add 2 more layers, the plate boundary types and elevation and depth. So plate boundaries, we're going to go right here, which says plate boundary types. And then we're going to be taking a look at elevation and bathymetry. We're going to click that on as well. So those 2 are on. Now the way this works is, if you notice the scale right down here, the darker blue it gets, the deeper the basin, or deeper the trench, or the deeper the ridge might be. So you can see right here, as the lighter blue color, the closer you get to the surface. And then over here, on the terrestrial side of the scale, the further you get away from green, all the way to as wide as you can possibly get, wide is, of course, the tallest. And we're going to be taking a look at evidences that if these plates are really moving, we should be able to see various kinds of elevation of depth, kind of depending on if it's in the ocean, or of course on land. So one of the things I like to do is I like to use this ribbon. This ribbon here has a variety of different tools on it, from information tools to hand tools versus a pointer, as well as a measuring device. And the one I like to use, the zoom in and zoom out, or the magnifying glass. Once I get it to a size I like, I click the hand so that I can move it around, and that's a pretty good size. So according to the directions, I'll pop back over the directions. What you want to do for the setup is you want to do all the launches just like I showed you. We're visualizing the visual part of the windows open. Now what we're going to do is a little bit of investigation. There's a lot of data on these images, and we want to extract that data out of them. And the way we do that is using the variety of tools that are in our tool palette or our tool ribbon that we have. The major question we want to do is we want to find the range of values from highest to lowest. There are a couple of different ways you can do that, and I'll be showing you those as well. Let me show you an easy way first. If you just get the pointer tool, what you can do is you can kind of follow these plate boundaries, and you can just click on them. And if you notice right on the bottom, it tells us right at that point that I left, you can see where it is. Now, if you follow along that line, you can see that there are some areas that are pretty darn deep, anywhere from 5,237 miles to let's see. Oops, let's get back here. Sometimes that will happen on you, especially if you're moving the mouse around a lot. And if we click on this area, you can see it's 3,200. Actually, that's in meters. It's not in miles, it's in meters. So that gives you an idea that that's really close to the surface. This one over here was 5,325 meters. So that gives you kind of a range. Now, the thing is, you'll have to actually write those down and compare them. try to get as low as you can find. The darker the blue, the lower it's going to be, or the deeper it's going to be. Now let's go on the reverse side. Let's see if we can find the highest point. And you can see there's 5,308 meters. And you kind of click around and see if you can find something a little bit higher. Here's one that's 53, about 5,400 meters. So anyway, that's what you can do. You can just write it down. There's a better way, though. And if you take a look over here on the directions, it says you can use the analyze mode and create a second section that's greater or equal to 3,000. So that can help you. So the way you can do that is if you click this tool right here, and then what you do is click the information tool. And now you'll notice this little thing right here. It has a little arrow. I'll go ahead and show it to you. If you notice right here, it has that question mark on it, and that will help you with. There it is right there. That'll help you kind of point the way. Well, let's start. Let's first of all start off right here, and you'll notice that as soon as I click a point, this window pops up. And what I want to do is I want to be able to record all of those. That's a lot probably handier than you just clicking all over the map and just writing it down. So I'm going to click the box that says keep the records, and it's right here. That's what you want to click. That will allow me to click around and actually keep those. So what I can do next is let's look at another one, and I'm going to click over here, and notice it's just going to keep adding to it. I'm going to click back on this to make sure I get my question mark back. This looks like a dark place right there. I click on that, and you notice I've put it right on top. So that's probably an ocean basin, possibly. See if you can beat me by trying to find a deeper place. And there are, so I kind of click around. So I've got a few of those. I'm going to keep on clicking over here. I'm going to go over here and where the Himalayas would probably be. And you'll notice now I'm going the opposite direction. It's not minus anymore. It's 5,500. And I'm going to still try to find a, click back over here again. And let's see, the whitest point. There's, all right, there you go. 5,700 looks like kind of my lucky number there. And because I've got one that's higher and lower. So what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and make a selection from that row. I'm going to that's my highest point. So I'm going to say make a selection from the row, and I'm going to call it high point or highest point. And then I'm going to press OK. Now on the next one, I'm going to go to my lowest point that I found. I'm going to make a selection, and I'm going to put the lowest point. And what this allows me to do is I'm going to create some very unique points on my own map and try to find out where they are, because I've already forgotten where I put them. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just click right there. And if you notice, it transferred everything right back over to here. So let me go ahead and move that out of the way. It said color selected is yellow. So if I find the lowest point, I'll look for a little yellow dot somewhere. And there it is right there. And so this here is the lowest point right there. So I selected this right here, and then what it's done is put that yellow dot there. So let's go somewhere else. Let's go to the highest point. And well, that's hard to find, but it is there. Yellow and white doesn't really work very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color to magenta. See if it shows. There it is. Now that shows up a lot better if you look over here. It's right there. So that is the highest peak that I can find. By the way, there is a higher peak. See if you can find it. So once you collect a few data points, then what you want to do is you want to try to find out what is the highest point. Another thing too, when you're looking at it, where is it located on? What you could also do is if you just click all of these, by clicking it once, hold down the shift key, and click the rest of them, and then whoops, let's get them all. I've done it Shift key, and I want to make a selection of all these, and you can put other points, and watch what happens. And all the other points start showing up in the magenta, like here and here. And so that gives you an opportunity to say, all right, all those other points, are they associated with some of these plate boundaries? And if they are, what kind of plates are they? Like, for instance, I'm going to click on this again. For instance, a divergent plate. Remember, a divergent plate stretches apart. In the ocean floor, that causes a ridge or a canyon. When they're convergent, typically in an ocean setting, one of them is going to subduct or dive underneath the other one. And when that happens, you create a ridge. And those are usually some of the lowest points in the ocean. So look for ridges or trenches for some of the lowest points. So you can kind of determine, like for instance, on the Himalayas right here, that's a convergent one. That means they were kind of piled up like that. So sometimes it makes a lot of sense to where one's deep. This could be just plain a basin. So anyway, what you want to do is you want to collect all your data, your points, and then compare it to position in the plates, and then make some theories or some guesses as far as what caused that high or low spot. So anyway, I'll see you in the lab, and I'll be around. So if you have any questions on me, just call me over. Thanks.